Hey there, it's GerbSims, and today we're going to build a restaurant in Strangerville. This build started out of not only being inspired by this specific lot, but also some items in the debug menu. I knew with this lot that I wanted to utilize these parking spaces. I know that in theory, the parking should go in the other direction, but I really like the idea of using those objects in the existing lot in order to inspire a restaurant that could be placed here. And I really like these restaurant neon signs. So it kind of just went really nicely, and then the build was inspired from there. So once I knew that I wanted to have this big parking lot with this kind of burger shack vibe, I got to building a real tiny restaurant that would be used mostly for the cooking and the bathroom and for a little bit of seating. How I was going to roof that became a very serious question. I wanted really badly for this to look like a realistic place, but not to look like a McDonald's or something too stereotypical. So I wanted to use red and yellow based off of that neon sign that I found, but not anything that was typical, something that you would see on just in any location, because this is the Strangerville town, and so we want something that's special to go in this very special neighborhood. So once I figured out the rough shape, and believe me, the roof changed a lot, I had to find some type of inspiration for the roof, and so I got to these awnings and ultimately found what I wanted to do with the roof by looking at awnings. Sometimes when I'm stuck with a roof, I'll just start working on the build and see if I can get some inspiration to strike in another way. As I've spoken about before, I have a lot of trouble with windows. I realized I'm not much of a builder. I consider myself more of a designer, of furniture, if you will. So this build is definitely representative of that. But then I found this rusty old awning from Island Living, and everything just kind of clicked. So I realized that there was this thing that you can put on top of the build, and then I was like, oh great, I'll make the whole roof out of that, which was like kind of silly, and it ended up being really difficult to do, but it did allow me to figure out the ultimate roof shape, because after all of this finagling and trying to make this work, I remembered, oh wait, that's also just a swatch for real roofs. So I ended up incorporating this piece along with, a regular yellow metal roof, I guess. It looked deteriorated enough to match the vibe without being disgusting. I wanted somewhere that you would eat, but somewhere that has been around for a long time and has a lot of history to it. I guess on HGTV they would call it like, it had a lot of character. It has a lot of opportunity for improvement. This is actually in Chicago. We have a lot of these kinds of half inside, half outside type of little burger shacks. There's a lot of ice cream places like this around me, and so I really went off of, Travis, you know I'm busy, right? I went off of a lot of those styles, and so once I got the outside, I'm looking more at the inside, ways that I can make it look used but also functional. So once I realized that I wanted the food to actually go to the outside, I had a lot of an easier time utilizing the space inside, because there didn't need to be a wall between the kitchen and the dining area, so it really left the space open, which is more authentic to the type of restaurants that I'm emulating here. So then I could focus more on the outside dining area and a little bit of the inside dining area. That was really difficult to figure out, because I knew as far as decor, I could use a lot of the Strangerville pieces. I could get a lot of stuff on the walls, but furniture was a real task. Fitting all of those things, I felt like I was making a tiny house almost. And I think that tiny restaurants are a really fun challenge, I would say, in this game that you kind of have to make up yourself, because no, you're not going to get any value or anything from having the lot count as a tiny home or a tiny lot, but it still has this sense of town neighborhood loyalty that is just really fun and makes it a place that you can tell is authentic to the local what would you call them? Strangervillites? Strangervergans? I have no idea. So I was thinking, okay, this could kind of look like an ice cream parlor. We could have a little bit of an area that's looking out, because how was I gonna fit 2 tables? You can't really have 1 table in a restaurant inside and then the rest outside. So I liked the idea of having one of the tables look outside, which was nice because I used these big windows I believe they're from Get to Work. They're fantastic. I love those windows. And I started with these really chunky, almost 1950s soda shop type of chairs. I'm really glad I didn't go with them because they really don't end up matching the tables that much. I don't know if you've ever had this happen, but once I put in that wallpaper, I figured it out. I started to figure out what the plan was, and it all started to come together. And people often ask, what do you do when you get builder's block? What do you do when you're frustrated with an aspect of a build? Just keep building, just keep going, and something will happen, something will spark your interest. I'd like to make a formal complaint about how we can't really use these, what are they called? These gates for these fences inside. I really, really liked the idea of putting a gate here. I thought this gate looked so cute in here, and it ended up having part of the gate post outside, which was just not fair. So I had to delete that, but it looked really nice to start. The great thing about this kitchen too is that when you're making a restaurant, you don't have to have a cash register or anything. So I wanted it to look like there was just this little stand that if someone were ordering up at the counter, they could just put down, a notepad and a few things here and there. So I was able to incorporate something back in the kitchen that wasn't just for the chef. Outdoor was really fun. I could use a lot of things from Island Living and a lot of things from Strangerville. Those are 2 packs that surprisingly go very well together. I don't think that we give them enough credit, but here we are, giving them the credit that I think they deserve. The bathroom was really fun. I have a fun screenshot of it later, being filthy and disgusting. And I think sometimes when you build something, you don't want it to be perfect. You want it to be bad in a way. It's kind of like playing stupid as an actor. It's really hard to play stupid and make it believable. It's hard to build something ugly and make it beautiful. So I think that was what I was trying to do here. Oh my God, I love this piece from Eco Lifestyle. I really hope that it's some type of secret thing telling us what the next pack is going to be. I'm so bad about conspiracy theories. Maybe that's why I like building in Strangerville. So we're finally at the point in the build where we're just cluttering and putting in our final little touches. I shouldn't say finally, it's my favorite part of building. So much of my video editing is just how much cluttering should I put? I probably should do a real-time clutter-a-thon video, because the majority of my building is just these tiny little things that nobody really notices, but I find really fun. They're almost touches that you don't notice, but they give you a vibe. They give you a vibe, you guys. So I'm vibing, I'm putting together the last little bits and pieces, and it's really starting to come together. Finally using my red shelf and putting in, I found the chairs, you guys. So these chairs are Debug from Eco Lifestyle, and they definitely fit better. So as I said, those other chairs, they were sweet, but these ones look a lot better. And finally putting in little things like postcards. I put postcards in all of my builds, and Post-it notes. That's another one of my go-to debug objects. And I put little to-go orders on the windowsill. I don't know why I'm like this. So now we're just getting the exterior done, putting some trash around, because what kind of restaurant doesn't just have trash on the outside? And making little bits and pieces that tell us more about the area surrounding the build now that I've gotten most of it done, such as, flora, and also painting the terrain, which is something I only recently started doing. I finally found a way to cover up this roof, which I really saved until the end. Luckily it worked out. That was pretty risky. So here's the final terrain paint, and we're gonna get to screenshots, and I'll show you the final build and how it turned out. Here she is, Stranger Shack. It is available in the gallery. You can find it there by searching #GerbSims. And it is a functioning restaurant. I play tested it, and honestly, it looks so good at nighttime. It looks so good all day long, but I hope that you will enjoy using it in your game. If you do upload pictures, send them to me. I'd love to see them. I hope you enjoyed this speed build. I certainly enjoyed making it. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on those alerts. If you haven't had enough, you can find me on all of the social medias at GerbSims, and I stream on Twitch 4 days a week, 3 times, Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday playing Sims, and once a week on Fridays talking mental health and social justice. Love to see you there, and until next time, live your best life and be your best self. Bye!